Every day, we are confronted with an abundance of the fruit of the human heart. Some good and tasty, leaving a desire for more, and others bitter and painful to swallow.
Hello, I'm Queen Rushman. Today I want to share with you matters of the heart. I'm a volunteer for Kingdom Warriors. In fact, my husband started this ministry good 3-4 years ago. And it started out pretty simple, where they were just taking firewood down to people who lived under the bridges under nights that was very, very cold. They had this passion to go and make a difference. And then that passion, that grew to something bigger. And they decided, oh, well, they need to be fed. And then eventually, that's when we started clothing. And then we actually then got a group of ladies who volunteered to come down and cut their hairs. And this ministry, it's changed me. Joy. Hey, honey, where's my silver hair dryer?
Perfect. My name's Norman Barnes. I'm 47 years old. I've had a pretty good life up until a few years ago when I had an accident at work. I got in trouble one time in my life when I was a kid. I was 11 years old. I stole a candy bar out of a store, got caught. My parents got called. I got my butt whooped all the way home, which was about a 15-minute ride.
Conflict with oneself. Even in the absence of a second person, we often find ourselves at conflict within ourselves. We suffer and toil from opposing thoughts at war in our heads and minds.
Hold everything that I need. I don't have to turn this around. Hold on, just a second. I can't wear my hair down. I gotta put it up. I'll be back. I'm sorry. I don't have throwing iron. I like this better because it gives me my shape.
Get woke up the next morning at about 5 o'clock in the morning by my father. I thought I was in trouble again, but I wasn't. He made me get up and go to work with him that day. And he told me that this is how you're going to get your money. You're not going to take from another man or woman that has struggled to get what they have. If you want something in life, you're going to do it the right way. You're going to work. Well, I've worked ever since.
The heart wants to play. The heart wants to enjoy, to be entertained, to be amused. The heart is curious. The heart is endowed with an overwhelming sense of experimentation. It gets bored very quickly with routine, and it sets out on an expedition to discover new things, digging deep into how things work, new ways of doing things.
I've had a pretty good life. I've had everything a man ever wanted in his life at one point. My ex-wives took it. I had raised 6 kids. Don't know where they are. They've disappeared, changed their name. Their mother took them away and changed their names. I have no way of contacting them. I have a sister. She lives in South Carolina somewhere.
Food. One of the biggest experiences of the human heart is how we treat our food. We don't just attack our food where we find it like animals do. No matter how humble or simple our food or meal is, whether we live in a mansion or are homeless, we may always want the preparation and eating of our food to be an experience to remember. It might be a quick meal, but we still want it to be an experience. We take our breaks from work to have our meal. We celebrate many occasions with a meal. Food is not just an item to be consumed, it's a meal to be shared. We celebrate weddings with a meal. Deals are made over meals. Our meals are so important that we play with different shades of light to create an ambiance for a young man to propose to his loved one over a meal. Friendships and covenants are sealed over a meal.
You know, my life was going really well, and one day it's great. The next day I'm in this position. This could happen to anybody. I've been on the street now for about a year. This isn't something that I like. something I don't want to do. I don't want to be out here.
Care. Our hearts care and are moved when we see someone less privileged than ourselves, someone struggling, someone hungry. We volunteer ourselves to help, to feed, to clothe, and to shelter. We want to be the good part of humanity. We are moved to tears when we want to help and find ourselves unable. When we see the overwhelming gratitude from the less fortunate, when very little done is received by a big heart.
I don't know how much longer, but I'm struggling out here. I know the Lord is watching over me. He's making sure that I wake up every day. He's making sure I get fed by Kingdom Warriors and other places that help the homeless, you know. And I am very grateful for their help. And I'm sure a lot of these other guys and girls out here are too. I just pray every day that things get better for me and for other people.
This moves us to want to do even more. We want to make our time, resources, talents available to help to extend a caring hand.
War. One wonders how hearts that are so capable of love, care, can be the mongering rooms of war. The heart of flesh can easily turn to a heart of stone. The hardness of the human heart is the cause of tribal wars, eugenics, anguish, untold suffering, extermination of entire communities, and the fabrication of weapons of mass destruction. What is wrong with the human heart? Who can cure it? Who can understand the human heart? We are a huge question mark, walking on 2 feet.